What if I told you there was this movie from 2002, which was half Scooby-Doo mystery and half actual horror film, and it simultaneously had like some of the best and some of the definitely worst moments I've seen in horror this year.
What are we gonna do?
We have got to get off this boat now.
Bon voyage.
There's this cruise ship in the 1960s with all these fancy people dancing and having a good time aboard. There's a little girl version of Emily Browning there. She's like, oh yeah, I'm 10, but this hard stare will make me look like I'm about to ask you to play with me in the Overlook Hotel. And then suddenly, everyone's having a good time, and this wire trap thing goes off, slices through everybody on deck, blood everywhere, fucking chaos. One of the best opening scenes in a horror movie I've maybe ever seen. Ship, it's all downhill from there. So Ghost Ship is a film about a salvage crew that includes Julianna Margulies, Karl Urban, Gabrielle Byrne, and Desmond Harrington. It's got like a bunch of great actors, and they're just coming off one salvage mission, but then they get sent out immediately on another one because Jack turns up and he says, I've spotted an ocean liner nearby, which could be worth huge amount to them as it is. When they get there, they find out it's totally abandoned, it's been floating on its own for years, it's been missing, they've heard about it, and then they find a massive amount of gold bars just chilling there that they can just take and make millions and millions off of each. And they don't think there's anything weird about that, or the fact that they keep seeing a little ghost girl everywhere. Idiots. Ghost Ship is very 2002. The editing and the music choices especially they really remind me of like Resident Evil, like the first Resident Evil movie, which was also released in 2002. It's like these horror movies that are trying almost too hard to be an action movie, and they're not meant to be doing that, so I don't know why they're doing that. But I do love the story idea, I love the remote location, a group of people getting picked off one at a time, it's classic. And I love the woman, the singer ghost, who just literally exposes her breasts to a guy, and that's enough to get him to walk into an elevator shaft and die. That was both hilariously accurate and it was kind of just a funny scene, which, again, good job, it was amusing, but that's also not what it's trying to be, so what are we doing here? I do really love this style of film, just this era of horror, not in a way that actually I'll say, oh yeah, that's a great film, but in a way that I kind of find them strangely rewatchable. I think that's just because when I was growing up, this was the kind of era, these years around early to mid-noughties, horror DVDs from those years were just sitting on my sister's shelves, and I would just whoop, and steal them and then go watch one and be like, whoa! And that was my first kind of exposure to horror. Even though this has got that, it is a film that just kind of gets worse as it goes on, honestly, and I can only forgive it for so much, because there are some truly great moments in this, moments where I'm like, shit, damn, and some twists that you kind of see coming, but at the same time it's like, oh, okay, fun little mysteries. But there's also some moments, some kills that are just like, uh-oh, you're dead. I think the cast is so fabulous in this. Young Karl Urban is great. Gabrielle Byrne is such an underrated actor, and he's a great captain for this little ship crew. It does feel, the whole cast is incredible. It's like this little ensemble that reminds me of ensemble casts from that period, kind of late 90s, early 90s, like Armageddon, Ocean's 11. It just isn't anywhere near as good as those films. But my point is that some individual moments, the plot idea, not necessarily execution, and the entire cast are all really great elements here. It just kind of, the story just kind of falls near the end, flat on its face, down a flight of stairs, breaks its neck, leaves its family destitute, that kind of thing, you know? Ghost Ship wants to be, actually, I have no idea what it wants to be. What it ends up being is very much a mixed bag, a cacophony of ooh and no moments, which kind of leaves me feeling like, yeah, could you have done better? Not actually sure. Honestly, this Scooby-Doo-ass kind of concept only had a ceiling in a fairly low place, so they did pretty well with it. I really did enjoy parts of it, and I thought I'd found a kind of sleeper hit in the horror genre almost here, but then it kind of crash landed a little bit. So I'm giving Scooby-Don't 2.5 stars. If you think this was a random watch out of nowhere, it pretty much was. Yeah, the channel members choose my Throwback Thursday review every week, so if you want to just throw a real curveball into my week, then you can just get a channel membership. They really comment anything.